Welcome to another MyTunes podcast, right here at manxradio.com.
Marc, Tyley, the nation station, Manx Radio.
We love having award winners on this here, MyTunes, and I've got one with me this week. And she's our very own Siobhan Fletcher from the Manx Radio newsroom. I'm going to start by saying massive congratulations on your superb award earlier this year.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You superstar. Come on, tell us what it was for.
Still so weird. So I went to the Commercial Radio News Awards, which is with IRN and Sky News, and I won for Best Interview for my programme Wispicity, which I did with the family of Kodiak Zori, and it was all about the album they put out sort of to honour his life and legacy. And I know Cody's brother Teo, so it was kind of like, for me, it was just making sure it sort of honoured them, really. It feels weird to win it because it's Best Interview, but it's Best Interview because they were so accommodating and so open, so I just sort of wanted to do them some justice.
Well, it's a wonderful result, and let me just say, you know, up against the great big groups of commercial radio, the Capitals, the Globals, the Bowers. This wasn't just a regional thing. This was the big guns were out to get you, and you beat them all.
It was funny. It was because I went with Chanel and Lewis from the newsroom as well, and it did feel like we were kind of like representing the little old Isle of Man. And there was three of us, and when we left, we were there for Manx Radio, which was so much smaller, like you say, than these massive radio stations.
Well, massive congratulations. And that programme, of course, is still available to listen to at manxradio.com. Seek it out. Now then, when did you start thinking about a career in news and media?
I guess when I was a kid, I was big into creative writing and things like that. I always wanted to be a writer. So that sort of, for me, then sort of very naturally turned to journalism, I guess. I started writing, I wrote for like newspapers at school and things like that. And then when I went to uni, I did like the magazines at the university. And when I did my year abroad, I was at the magazine there and I did all that. And then when I left my undergraduate degree, it sort of became, right, what do I do now? I want to do journalism in some form. So I went and did a degree in broadcast journalism because I thought that was kind of wider than just doing newspaper or written journalism. You can kind of go into all different zones of journalism, and then just sort of fell into this as well.
I think the whole journalistic world is converging in that you can't just do one anymore. You've got to know how to take a photo, you've got to know how to write, you've got to know how to do a piece for radio or in front of a camera. It's much more everything for everything at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to learn how to write an article from top to bottom, photography, video, how to edit everything. In that year, I kind of had a crash course in different software and how to do it all. And I always knew that I was like a good writer, so it was then became learn the technical skills to be able to do the broadcast side. And then professionally, I've worked at the papers and at the radio, so I've still, again, been able to do a bit of everything.
It's amazing when I think back. Only 20 years ago, I know it might seem a lifetime to you. For me, it's about a couple of weeks. 20 years ago, I was at a radio festival, and the question at one of the symposiums was, does the internet have anything to offer to radio? Literally discuss. I mean, you would not believe how people didn't quite know just what was going to happen. Musically, where are we going to start with your musical journey?
Well, I thought I'd do it chronologically for you, Mark. So I've started with a band that kind of, for me, I remember being played in the car all the time when I was little. I have a really distinct memory of going camping. We always used to go camping on summer holidays, and I just, for some reason, have a memory of this song in particular being in the back seat of the car and like hearing it. My mum and dad are really into their music. My dad's a very classic rock bod, so it's all my musical taste has been very influenced by them, whereas my mum is very eclectic and kind of all over the place, a lot more poppy. So she'd listen to like Whitney Houston and like ABBA and The Cause and like, just a whole mix of stuff. But this band really kind of, I guess, sums both up together.
And it is?
Fleetwood Mac, and I'm Gone with Dreams.
all this week, my guest is the award-winning journalist Siobhan Fletcher from our very own newsroom, who saw off the mighty global networks, the Capitals, the Bowers, everybody across the whole of the United Kingdom, and deservedly so. Siobhan, again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
When we were laying out, well, you were laying out the stall yesterday, you talked about a year overseas as part of your training. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my undergraduate degree, my degree was American and Canadian Literature, History and Culture. That was the full name. So American and Canadian Studies, basically, which was very eclectic and kind of, you studied all sorts really. Like 1 week I'd be writing an essay on like US history, and 1 week I'd be writing one on like a music video. And, you know, I wrote essays about Respect by Aretha Franklin and like the music video for Black and White by Michael Jackson. Like I wrote all sorts, and as part of that I went and studied for a year in Canada. So I went to the University of Calgary, which is basically near the Rocky Mountains in Canada. It's in Alberta, and loved it. It was freezing though, absolutely freezing for the whole time I was there.
It certainly can be. I mean, looking at their temperatures over winter, -40 is not uncommon.
No, and yeah, I sort of lived like a bit like a mole for that year, because if you stay on campus, they have a lot of tunnel systems, so you kind of just go down underneath the campus. So I'd pop up at a lecture on the other side of campus just in like jeans and a jumper, and then you'd have all these students who obviously were living off campus coming in with all their layers, and I'd just look like this sort of mole person who'd scurried underground.
That sort of weather can do you serious damage in a matter of minutes.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, talk about your nose dropping off or something going.
I don't know if it's that extreme, but pretty much, yeah.
Horribly wrong.
It's freezing though.
Now, when we started talking, before we launched into yesterday, we mentioned, or you mentioned to me, Whiston, Liverpool.
Yeah.
So that is where you grew up?
No, well, I grew up in Widnes, so it's nearby. It's about half an hour outside of Liverpool, basically. It's my hometown. I feel like this is my fun fact for everyone. Mel C's from Widnes.
Oh, there you
Spice
go.
Girls.
Oh.
And your other fun fact that everyone gives you is that Paul Simon wrote Homeward Bound in Widnes train station.
Well, there's a thing. And I know who'd be very appreciative of that, our wonderful journalist John Moss, who is the Isle of Man's biggest Paul Simon fan.
Well, there you go, yeah.
So he can now trot that out, and he will at some stage, probably on Tynwald Day next year, apropos of nothing, as he does. What brought you to the Isle of Man? Was it the job here?
So my partner's from the Isle of Man, born and raised in Douglas. Basically, we sort of talked about it. She wants to go into a specific line of work and needed to study again, and so wanted to come over and essentially try and get funding through the government again, because we'd lived away for so long. So we debated what we were going to do, and we sort of said, well, we'll come and live here for a couple of years, see if we like it, and if we do, well, we'll stay, and if not, I gave it a good go. So I started just applying for jobs, and I got the job down at the newspapers and moved over. I'd never visited the Isle of Man, never met a lot of her family, just jumped straight in, feet first, moved over, and then loved it and love it here. And yeah, now we're here to stay.
Where did you meet?
At Nottingham at university, yeah. We're on the same course, so yeah, at uni.
And you'd never even been over for a holiday?
Never. Well, we do have this weird connection though, in that my dad's from Widnes, which is where I was raised. My mum's from Ireland, she's from Derry, and they met in the middle. So they both met on holiday on the Isle of Man.
Oh, well, it was meant to be.
So it was meant to be. And then they'd never visited again until I moved over, and then they came over last year and were like, oh, let's go to all the places that we visited while we were over.
So that's where we get the mix of your name. Fletcher, Siobhan. Siobhan, very much an Irish Christian name, and Fletcher, a very English surname. Yeah. Gotcha. Right, let's have another piece of music. What are we going to have today?
So I guess today I will give you, my final project at uni, my dissertation, I actually wrote about music videos, and it was all around this one album a lot of the time. So I'm going to give you Make Me Feel by Janelle Monáe.
Yeah. Baby, don't make me spell it out for you. All of the feelings that I got for you can't be explained, but I can try for you. Yeah, baby, don't make me spell it out for you. You keep on asking me the same questions. Why? And second guessing all my intentions. Should know by the way I use my compression that you got the answers to my confessions. It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender. And That's just the way you make me feel. 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 So good, so good, so good, so real. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. You know I love you, so please don't stop it. You got me right here in your jean pocket, right now, laying your body on the shag carpet. Oh, you know I love it, so please don't stop it. It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender and emotional, sexual bender. Mess me up, yeah, but no one does it better. There's nothing better. That's just the way you make me feel. 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 So good, so good, so good, so real. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. Oh, that's just the way that I feel now, baby. Good God, I can't help it. Hey, that's just the way that I feel. Yeah, please, I can't help it. It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender and emotional, sexual bender. Mess me up, yeah, but no one does it better. There's nothing better. Damn. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. So good, so good, so good, so good, so good. That's just the way you make me feel. 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 You make me feel so good, so good, so good, so good, so good, yeah. So good, so good, so good. That's just the way you make me feel.
All this week on My Tunes, here on Manx Radio, my guest is Siobhan Fletcher from our very own Manx Radio newsroom. I'll say it again, award-winning Siobhan Fletcher. Just describe for me your role in the newsroom, though, Siobhan. What is it you do here?
I'm a multimedia journalist and producer, so essentially just a bit of everything, really. Go out and get stories, come back, turn the audio around for all the programmes our listeners listen to. So the Breakfast Show, Update, Man in Line sometimes, and then produce programmes like our Island Life series, or I recently did a whole series of podcasts about Pride, and just, yeah, out getting news all the time.
Now, we hear you reading the news as well from time to time, and also dropping in on shows, especially with Christy,
Yeah.
adding a little bit of the magic Siobhan sparkle to that programme. When you first realised that you're going to have to use one of these here microphones and speak on air, how was what was running through your head?
Oh, I don't see. It's difficult. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at speaking on air, but you do have the concerns about like your accent and speaking slow. I've slowed right down with the news now because I was definitely speaking a bit too fast at the beginning. And I kind of had trial by fire during COVID because I was working for Gadio, which is like a national radio station over in the UK. And I was broadcasting basically from my bedroom. So they sent me a microphone home and I would have to pre-record the news for every hour about 2 minutes before the hour and make sure it was uploaded into the login time. And so I got used to being able to do that, but it was through this kind of pre-recorded element. Whereas now, yeah, speaking live on air, you do still get, when, you know, you'll know if you throw over to the news at the top of the hour, I'll be down in the news studio and you do have a moment of like, oh no, here we go,
Yeah.
going live. Yeah, so it was nerve-wracking, but I think I'm settling into it.
And video work? Are you putting much video together now?
Yeah, I do the odd one. So recently we had a tour of the Manxman. I went down and spoke to Cody at Zori's family again as well last week about a piano they're hoping to install in the sea terminal. So yeah, just getting to do all the different elements, really.
Well, it's working very nicely, thank you, and we are very blessed to have award-winning Siobhan Fletcher with us at Manx Radio. Now then, what about today's piece of music? What's it going to be?
It's going to be Ain't It Fun by Paramore, which I actually have tattooed here, you can see.
I
on
can
my
see.
arm. They're my favourite band. Anyone who has heard me cover shows with Christy, or I've covered the Live Lounge, or I do the Clash with Christian Jones from the Newsroom, I'm a very big rock fan, but Paramore are my top band, and this is my favourite song.
And have you seen them?
Multiple times, yes, and I'm proud to say I have got tickets for them opening for Taylor Swift next year, which is kind of like the dream lineup of about 15-year-old Siobhan.
Is that the Wembley?
At Anfield, I'm seeing them.
Anfield. Oh, what a gig that's going to be.
I know.
Let's hear it then. It's Paramore. Ain't it fun?
I don't mind letting you down easy, but just give it time. If it don't hurt now, but just wait a while. And let the big fish in the pond no more. You were what they're feeding on. So what are you gonna do when the world don't open up around you? So what are you gonna do when the world don't open up around you? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good being all alone? Where you from? You might be the one who's running things. Well, you can ring anybody's bell and get what you want. See, it's easy to ignore trouble when you're living in a bubble. So what are you gonna do when the world don't open up around you? So what are you gonna do when nobody wants to fool with you? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good being all alone? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun you can't count on no one? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun you can't count on no one? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Ain't it fun? Baby, now you're one of us. Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good? Ain't it good being all alone? Ain't it fun living in the real world? 'Cause the world don't open up. Ain't it good? Ain't
so far, our musical journey on MyTunes has taken us through the wonderful world of Fleetwood Mac. We've Dreams, we've had Paramore, we've had Janelle Monáe. Where are we going today? Somewhere special, but that will have to wait, because my guest, Siobhan Fletcher, the award-winning Siobhan, is going to tell me, where do you want to go in this wonderful world of broadcasting? I mean, I know you're here, and we're grateful to have you here, not just because you win a prize, because you're lovely and your work is fantastic, but what are your ambitions?
Oh, that's a big question, isn't it?
Well, why not? End of the week and all that, nearly.
Oh, wow. I guess I really enjoy doing the news gathering. I like going out and about. I like not necessarily being in the office all the time. I like going and getting all that together. But I do love being on air too. I think I've enjoyed doing the presenting I've done recently. So I've covered a couple of shows and I've really enjoyed that. So it's weird. I quite like that mix of having the newsroom side where I'm out gathering news and doing all that. And then, when I get to present, kind of being a bit more... You have a different persona almost. You can be yourself when you're on air as a presenter and sort of play all the music you love and talk, wax poetic about music. Whereas when you're on air reading the news, you'll know, anyone listening knows I don't really sound like this when I do the news. You put on a voice and you kind of, not put on a voice, but you speak slower and you kind of, because it's a different thing really. So a bit more of everything really. I like that mix, I think, just sort of, trying out a lot of different stuff. That's where I see myself.
And what about music for yourself? Do you play an instrument? Do you sing? Is there music in those veins?
I do play a few instruments, yeah.
Tell us more.
In school, I learned how to play clarinet and saxophone, but I haven't picked either of them up in a few years now. So it'd be interesting to see, actually, if I pick them up, if I'd actually still be able to play them. I play guitar. I've played guitar since I was about 8. My dad plays guitar. He was self-taught, and then I'm self-taught. I just sort of heard him playing all the time and taught myself. And then I have a bass guitar as well, which I'm in the process of attempting to learn.
Well, I knew you played the guitar because we've talked about this beforehand. Some research has been done, boys and girls, and we are going to play guitar in that room that I'm looking at next door before very long.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to record it. I'm going to play it on the show.
Oh no! Okay, that's pressure. Pressure, Marc.
Yeah. Pressure indeed.
Just don't make me sing, because there's not a good singing voice in here.
We'll just do an instrumental.
Okay, great.
The pair of us will sort that out. We will do that before too long. Something to look forward to in the autumn, yeah?
Okay, all right.
Okay, a little later on in the autumn. There's a rather special record coming up now, and I know, but please tell us all.
So I recently got married to said partner we've talked about earlier this week. We got married at Peel Castle, and we had a reception up at the Fun Barn, which just, was an interesting night. Probably lots of drinks were had and things like that. But the first dance that we had, our first dance song, was to The Best by Tina Turner.
What a tune. Well, many, many congratulations. A long and very wonderfully happy life together. Thank you for being my MyTunes guest. Here's to loads more prizes, by the way. No pressure, but you got one. We need about 3 on the shelf now. Need a few more. So crack on with that. Siobhan Fletcher, thank you for being my guest.
Thank you very much.
I call you, I need you, my heart's on fire. You come to me wild and wild. You come to me, give me everything I need. Give me a lifetime of promises and a world of dreams. Speak the language of love like you know what it means. And it can't be wrong. Take my heart and make it strong. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone I've ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart.
Tina Turner, the best. What a choice. Thank you, Siobhan. Lovely to have you as my MyTunes guest all this week. Don't forget, keep coming back here for more podcasts. They're appearing every single day. And join me when you can for the Monday to Friday morning show with me, Marc Tyley. That's 9:30 to 12. I look forward to that. All the best. See you soon.